Hey everybody, Joe Casabona here, and today I'm going to tell you my top 5 tips for easily navigating the block editor in WordPress. So I hope you enjoy this. If you do, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I put out a couple of videos a week. I also do a live stream, so be sure to subscribe. And if you like this video in particular, I have a course out now called Master Full Site Editing. It's all about how to use the WordPress block editor and the upcoming full site editing features. The first ones have already made it into WordPress core, but there's lots coming, and you can be one of the first people to know and understand it. So you can check that out over at masterfse.com. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first tip I have for you today is using the slash notation. So we know that you can click on the blue button to add a block or the black button over here to add a block. But if you know the name of the block you want to add, you can type slash. So the slash notation allows you to type a / and then it'll bring up a list of your most commonly used blocks. But you can also start typing the name of a block if you know it, and that list will get whittled down. So if I want to include the site title, I can type site and then use the keyboard to navigate this list and add the site title. So that's the first tip, and that is my favorite. I use it most often. As a matter of fact, when I write in Ulysses, I include the / for more, and then when it gets put over on WordPress, I can just press enter or return, and the more block will show up, which I think is super cool. The second tip I want to show you is markdown. So markdown is a common notation mostly for web developers. People will tell you that it's an easy way to write HTML, which it is, but only if you already write HTML and are looking for a better way, pretty much. But if you do know Markdown, the block editor supports that natively. If you don't, here are a couple of my favorites. So the hashtag or # is used to create headings. So you can do this from 1 up to 6 hashtags. So if I want to create a heading 3 tag, I would do 3, press space, and then a heading 3 would be created. The same thing goes for lists. So if I want to create an unordered list, I can type asterisk and space, and then a list will be created, or numbered lists. So I can type 1 period, and then a numbered list will be created as well. If I type a greater than sign, that will automatically create a block quote. And finally, if you want to create a separator, you can type a few dashes, and the block editor will automatically convert that to the separator or divider block here. So that's one of my favorites. I use that all the time as well, especially when I'm creating lists or headings. The third tip is to create regular blocks out of reusable blocks. So if I go to the block selector here, I have a reusable block called trust section. I can add that in here. But if I want to make changes just on this page, the way I would do that is click the 2 overlapping squares here, the icon in the options bar. If I click that, it'll convert it to regular blocks, and then I can make the changes here without having to worry about making the changes everywhere else. So this is a good way, if you haven't created any block patterns yet, to create just some reusable sections that you might want to just change a few things on, change the trust logos, or if you have social media icons that you want to change based on the content, or a content upgrade you want to change based on the content, the reusable blocks to regular blocks is a good way to do that until we have a no-code solution for adding block patterns. The fourth tip is using groups to simulate rows. So the block editor doesn't support rows yet, only columns. So if I want to do something like create a heading, then we can add some content like media text block. I'll just add some images here. and some content. If I want to group these together, say add some spacing between them, make the background color the same for each of them, I can't really do that unless I can set the background color for these individually, which I can, but the spacing, the separators are it's all going to be disjointed. So instead, what I can do is I can add a spacer block here. I can duplicate this and then move it down. And then I could select all 4 of those blocks and I can create a group, change the type of 4 blocks. It's these 2 overlapping squares here, convert it to a group, and then I could set the group to full width, and I can change the background color of the entire group. So this is a nice way if you're using the, let's say just the core block editor, you're not using any block packs or anything like that, to simulate rows, again, until there's perhaps a better solution for that. And then the last tip I want to show you is list view. I think this is so great. It's these 3 slanted lines here at the very top. If I click that, I can see a indented list of all the blocks on the page. And if I click one of those, it will take me to the block for me to modify. Now, this works best, I find, with the groups or the reusable blocks, because sometimes it's hard to select those blocks and you don't know if you're selecting the right thing. I find this really especially true with reusable blocks. So if I add another reusable block and then I click in, I'm sometimes unsure. So I just clicked the group. So I've clicked the grouping, but not the reusable block. If I want to be sure that I've selected the reusable block, I can go to list view and click trust section. So now I know I've selected the reusable block here. So that's it. Those are the 5 tips for the top 5 tips I think are great for using and navigating the block editor. We had the slash notation for adding blocks, the markdown notation. I'll include a link to some markdown documentation in the description for this video. We had converting reusable blocks to regular blocks, using groups as rows, and using the list view to navigate a long page of blocks. Again, if you liked this video, be sure to click the thumbs up down below, subscribe to this channel for more great content, and if you want to learn the ins and outs of the block editor and full site editing, go ahead and sign up for my new course over at masterfse.com. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, get out there and build something.